demonstrating what appears to be their solid commitment to playing the role of the happy dog in the burning room meme so long as there is a Democrat holding the highest office in the land. CBS Evening News kicked off their latest report this way.
It appears the Biden White House has two challenges in front of it.
I'm sorry, what? Two challenges? Two, you say. Oh, how we Americans long for the day when the crises created and stoked by our elected leaders could be confined to just two. That dynamic CBS report seemed to focus on the two crises being kids going back to school amid COVID and the United States being perceived by the world as hoarding the vaccines. Now, call me crazy, but I don't know too many rational people that would consider either of those two things a crisis. On that front, perhaps that crack CBS News investigative journalist team could take a look at, I don't know, the 10 million job openings that are not being filled by willing workers? How about historic inflation? Or an oil shortage and gas prices spiking? How about the border crisis? Maybe the record number of migrant detentions there? Perhaps China snatching up every single Middle Eastern port city like they're the stinking Roman Empire? Or even perhaps, I don't know, the worst, most humiliating foreign policy debacle in modern history unfolding currently in Afghanistan. Here's what our heavily coached, perhaps heavily medicated president had to say on the topic.
The idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
That's weird, because I thought I remembered you saying
there's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comfortable.
Now, it's one thing to be so pitifully mistaken about your enemy, but this is Joe Biden, so no one's surprised. But what is so insulting is the attempted cover. I mean, how tone-deaf is it to say that none of this could have been avoided? Come on, man. There were always going to be severed bodies of Afghan teenagers dangling from the wheel wells of the landing gears of our C-17 transport cargo planes. No way around that stuff. Carcasses falling from the sky in Afghanistan. Totally knew that was going to happen. Everybody did. And speaking of tone-deaf, after hiding out at Camp David while the rest of the world burns, our president gave a press conference about school kids wearing cloth masks. Imagine actually saying this.
There are people who are dying and who will die who didn't have to.
And be talking about mask mandates in the state of Florida rather than Americans in Afghanistan. That's where we are. This isn't a presidency. It's a clown show. Well, it's a clown show where the clowns have absolutely no idea what they're doing, accidentally release all of the hungry lions from their cages, inadvertently snap the high wire while the dude's out juggling on it, poison the peanuts, and clumsily set the circus tent on fire. What we're seeing in D.C. right now is precisely why the 25th Amendment was written and adopted by the states. Heaven help us all.